All right,
Oh,
finally. Now it's just us. Oh, hi Trey. What are you gonna throw trash in this chat to get the turnover called? Yeah, there was the refs made a call during the Texas game, and the fans threw trash on the field, and then the refs were like, "Never mind." Remember what I said? Remember what I said during the game? No, okay.
What?
I was asking Joe if he remembered what I said when we were watching the Texas Georgia game. I said, "Let's root for Georgia, so Trey will be sad."
You know what? I'm just going to be sure to come over next weekend and watch that game with you.
You're not allowed. The door will be locked. I will change the code.
You act like that will stop me.
Yeah, I mean it is.
and the weather might be nice.
All right, you boys ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
Picking up after Nathan leaves the makeshift coffee tea bakery room that you guys magically influenced. And as you sit there in the room together alone with your thoughts as the train keeps moving through the hillsides, what would you guys like to do?
Well, that went poorly. Such a secretive man.
I mean, what do you really expect?
A little bit rude too.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, they clearly knew he would be on this train.
Well, it's not quite mysterious. We know his benefactor is one of the families in Aplaby. Or Rulin. My bad. No.
Rulin, yeah.
In Rulin, hold on. I have that somewhere. I can't find it right now. It's guesstimate it. So Rulin is the third largest city within the Republic of Edo. So and the each city can range from like like the smallest city, or that has a representative, can range from like 2 houses to the larger cities, which can be up to like 50 houses, depending upon how the like voting kind of goes and things like that. So in Roland, there's roughly, if I remember what I originally set, which I can't find those notes right now. I'll look for them later. There's roughly like 30-ish houses that are a part of the Senate. That doesn't include the houses that are not in the Senate as well. But those that are active in the Senate at this moment are roughly 30-ish.
Gotcha.
Like because and it's kind of this, like in Aplaby, there are 2 houses that are a part of the Senate at this moment. But there are in Aplaby, there's actually roughly 6 houses that kind of fight for Senate seats. And as a small point of order, Nathan did not say that he works for a specific house. He just has connections to houses.
Okay.
Either way, to obtain what the man is offering, we'll have to get to regionals regardless.
That is what we should focus on, I
agree.
believe now.
You at the beginning of last session, you were about like a day and a half away, and you guys are pushing. I think you guys technically didn't have dinner yet, so about a day. So you should arrive somewhere early. Not early, sorry. Late afternoonish tomorrow.
That's right. We just had tea time, which is post or pre-dinner.
So, let us set all this, not necessarily behind us, but focus on the path on our feet rather than the objects on the horizon. You fail me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, can we hang out in your room?
Of course, it looks so nice.
Do you mind if I tinker with my gadgets?
By all means.
Yeah, so in the meantime, Raven probably takes her hood off, pulls her hair into a ponytail, and her and Ghost are working on some stuff. Ghost is like holding tiny little springs in his mouth and like hands them over, and she fidgets with like brass little contraptions that she puts on her belt. It's like a tool belt.
Like Muhammad Ali.
I don't even know what that is. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's intense.
Yeah, build those neck muscles, become a F1 driver.
Well, I can't say that looks like it's too good for your spine, though.
All right. So as you all kind of spend the next couple hours heading into the evening and into dinner time, you take your respective times to tinker and exercise. Where would you guys say that y'all are at? Are you going to be, just kind of hanging out in your rooms tonight? Or y'all wanting to hit up the drink carriage? What y'all have any plans for the evening?
Yeah, we'll get dinner, right? So we'd probably make our way to the carriage at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia's got to get her 3 roasted chickens. All right.
Some drinks afterwards. Oh, Oh, go ahead.
All right. So you all eventually meet up for dinner and eventually for a round or 2 of drinks. So over the period that you guys have been on the train, from pre-sessions to now, let's go ahead and say that depending upon, and I'll trust you guys to kind of figure this out, towards your own pockets. For meals and such, like if you're wanting like, a nice, a nice full meal, would cost you about a silver piece. And, for drinks and everything like that, if you're just going like, a couple of ales, would cost you about 2 coppers.
What
And
about
if
a vodka cranberry?
so that would probably cost you about a silver piece, for like the more, if you're looking like a top shelf kind of vodka drink.
Yeah.
So I'll let y'all kind of up to y'all use your better judgment and discretion of how much money you've spent on the train ride, just so that way we don't have to go into the full details of that. We'll get into. I think for this game we'll probably more worry about the money aspect of if you guys are like looking for those, those big purchases,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was perfect to tell me. I know exactly how much to charge myself. Yep. Nice.
So, cool. So, but you guys eventually have dinner, head to the drink carriage for a couple nightcaps. And we'll get into if y'all want to have any discussions while that's happening. At some point during the evening, the conductor will come by, probably while you guys are in the drink carriage. was his name? Jaskruk.
Yeah.
So, but in the midst of y'all's conversations and drinks, he eventually approaches the familiar conductor. Well, seeing as how it's towards the end of the night and your last full day here, anything to report to me?
Oh, well, we did figure out how the ruffians got on the train.
And how might that be?
They were using the storage compartment that we believe they hid in the ration crates.
Yes, they must have gotten aboard the train while we were stuck due to our maintenance issues.
And you all are confident in that report? That there's probably there shouldn't be any more issues from here? Well, that's fantastic to hear. Appreciate y'all for your continued diligence.
Jasgruk,
It's rare to find some folks like you, especially during these times. So just know that your help was much appreciated.
Jasgruk,
Yes, ma'am.
to be honest with you, there was a passenger that was being targeted. And I don't wish to cause any trouble for you or the gentleman in question, but could you possibly double check and ensure no unauthorized passengers board during your next stop?
We will have to. We will do our best. I mean, it's clear that these bandits took the opportunity that was given to them during our unfortunate mechanical issues. So that, but it shouldn't be a problem from here on out. And I don't need to know any more details, but this targeted individual should probably be all right from here on out.
Very well, that is more than satisfactory.
Well, I probably won't get the chance to say all this tomorrow, seeing as how this time of year is always the busiest, and there's always things to do, especially being conductors. So I just wanted to offer up my thanks and wish you all the best, and to also say good luck in your bouts at the Invitational. Hopefully I might, be able to say I met future champions at some point. You probably don't want to do that. Just keep your mind on the fights, and keep your minds at the tasks at hand. Well, that's interesting. I figured that since you all were so keen with each other, that y'all were keeping an eye on him. But unfortunately, I haven't seen him myself.
He was a confused lad from the start, so perhaps he wandered into the wrong compartment by mistake.
Well, there's been no reporting of anyone being where they shouldn't be, so maybe. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but if a passenger somehow disappears, they already paid for the ticket, so it's out of my hands at that point. Unless of course they're dead, then that might be of my concern. But as saying as no how anybody reported on no dead bodies except for the ones y'all done taken care of, I think we're okay at the moment.
Do you think he simply jumped off the train? Does that sort of thing ever happen, Jazgrook?
You see, make an insight check real quick.
Okay. What am I? Also, okay. Oh, a 3.
3. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
That
I'm like
don't
looking off the train, like imagining
Yeah.
in my head what jumping off would look like.
Yeah. Best not to think about that kind of thing, little lady.
Mhm.
Well, I believe that this will probably be goodbyes, and well, maybe one day we'll see each other again.
Yeah, if you happen to find yourself in Rulin for the regionals, perhaps we can arrange some seats for you.
I mean, that'd be mighty kind of you. Well, best of luck to all of you, and again, thank you all for your help over these past few days. I'll leave you to your drinks and bid you all farewell. As he kind of takes off his hat, and you can kind of see the balding spots, not full like cereal bowl balding, but there's definitely some patches. But as he kind of takes it off and puts it over his chest, as he kind of bows his head a little bit, adjusts his hat back on, and makes his way back towards the front of the train. So, with that taken care of, is there anything that you all over dinner and drinks and possibly as you head to bed, or is there anything that you all wish to discuss or do before arriving in Aplaby? This is the invitation. Yeah.
Yes, I hope to be a cook for the regionals. I don't think there is a competition involved in my job placement, but if I am not, I will be sure to try my best. I will look forward to serving you. I hope to see you before the match. Yes. I agree. It is hard to lose friends.
Especially when there's such a natural chemistry. Well, it helps when everybody already has a fair bit of experience, and judging by the look of us, I think we all just have a little bit of history with some combat.
Anders, if I may inquire, what exactly brings you to Aplaby?
Well, I'm actually there to meet a scholar to help me with this scroll I found back in my home forest.
A scroll.
Yes. Found it actually in the temple that I go to worship at. I do a lot of exploring there, as it's pretty decayed and run down. It seems that way, yes. Well, can't say it's very abandoned anymore as I use it.
Might I ask, is this some sort of scroll of record? Or is this more magical?
Well, that's just it. I don't quite know. It's something that even I don't truly understand.
Do you have it on you?
Well, yes, I do. It's right here.
And we see?
Can I make
Yeah.
anything of it?
Do you want to describe it, Trey?
Um, I wasn't expecting to have to describe a scroll.
Well, I mean, this is part of your deal, so I didn't know
Yeah.
if you had anything for it, because I mean, I can come up with something if you want.
Well, I mean, I originally had something, but we had to go a different path with it. But Anders reaches into his pack and fumbles around through a few things, and then finally pulls out this. It's a very tattered scroll of parchment. It looks like it's been through the elements, and the edges are frayed and slightly ripped. But yeah, yes, here it is. But yes, the binding's quite fragile.
Quite aged. May I?
Oh, well, I suppose so. Just be careful. I hand
would like
Raven
to-
the scroll.
Yeah, I would like to examine the scroll, see if I can get anything from it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check. What languages do you speak, Jamie?
Common and Elvish.
Okay. It is neither common, very clearly, and it is not Elvish. So,
18
18.
on investigation.
It is definitely a it there's truth to what Anders is saying. It definitely seems old, and there's even like some markings that are kind of faded that are a little bit hard to read. As far as you can tell, there are strange markings and symbols. I mean, you're a pretty intelligent girl, but this is a bit out of your realm of knowledge. But it definitely also has like this. If you held onto it too tight, like it might even crumble. It's very fragile, and definitely seems very old. But that's really all you're getting out of it. But yeah, the language that is written on it is out of your realm of knowledge.
You possess a very old scroll here. Faded markings, hard to decipher. As far as I can tell, these are unknown symbols in a language that eludes my understanding. Here, I don't want to reduce this to dust. Please take it back.
Well, thank you. I'll just gladly take that back. Yes, I I know several languages, and I can definitely tell it's none of them. Even my most unique language that I've learned, which is Sylvan. And
Oh,
Zeg,
yeah, I know that too.
you know Sylvan.
Yes.
You're quite surprising.
Well, Anders, we're going to have to keep in touch because I cannot deny my curiosity is stirring. I really wish to know the outcome of your findings.
Quite the opposite, actually. I tend to. I don't really get out of my village very often. From time to time, I do jut out, but it's never to ride the trains or the rails or anything like that. You might say that. A lot of my adventures are within the Bramble Mantle, and none of them are really small, considering the dangers in that wood.
I too am far from home. Well, it caught my eye.
Where are you from, Raven?
Somewhere far north of here. A wintry elven village.
Oh, okay. I've probably never heard of it.
Probably not. Well, Zeg, your turn. Where are you from?
Hey, Jacob.
Huh?
I don't know where I'm from.
Yeah, we never discussed it, did we?
We never did. It's just
Um,
it's a big city with
I know. Yeah, I know you said that you wanted to be from the Republic.
mhm.
So the largest city is Solaris, which is the capital of the Republic. Mauburn, which is over here, is the second largest city, as it is a kind of it's kind of more of like a good midway point of between the other countries that are on the continent of Urund, as well as it's a good trading area between the rest of the other countries and between some of the ports that kind of this specifically more towards Amhol, just north of it. And then Rulin is the third largest city. So, I mean, if you want to pick from those three, up to you.
Do you think Mauburn would be a hub for like would Stellaris would probably also contain a hub for like kind of adventuring supplies and like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, all three of them kind of are. I would say probably more towards Mauburn.
Yeah.
Just because it's the Republic of Edo isn't really known for its adventurous side. More people that are, that are of that, like, I'm an adventurer and I want to make a name for myself. They will venture more into the other countries of Urund to kind of do that. So Mayburn would kind of more fit that lifestyle.
Sweet. Yeah. So, well, I am from. Well, I grew up actually in Mayburn. Have a lot of family there. Very big family in the Blade Bears. I actually. Now the DC is interesting. I was born in the Fae. The Feywild.
The Feywild, you say?
Yes, it's a different plane altogether.
You'll
Well,
have to tell
realm,
me
I
all about
suppose,
it.
is the. I would love to. My mother and father met from a adventuring themselves, and I was about 4 when we moved back to. We moved back with the family. Yes, I was born there.
Yeah, that wins. You probably have.
It's fascinating.
Hmm. Uncommon, but not beyond expectation.
Well, you're not too ordinary yourself.
Yes. Well, no ordinary person could go face to face with the thing. I marvel at the plate of rice balls. Try to come up with how they made it.
It just, made a fist.
Took a handful of rice.
All right. Is there anything else you guys wish to discuss for the evening? Or, I mean, we can go ahead and say if there's anything you guys wish to do before, and if we want, we can, move the story along to the arrival at Aplaby. Up to you guys.
Yeah, I think Zeg in the morning would probably think that the patrolling job is not done and see if anybody else is gearing up for like the morning patrol. We still do have a job.
How do you spell Edo?
EITO.
EITO. Thank you.
Eat, yo. That's its original, how they said it in Latin. All right. Is anyone taking patrol with Zegrek? Pack. Gotcha. So, I mean, if y'all feel like y'all want to do something, just stop me whenever, because I'm just gonna go through a little, transitional phase, if you will. So, as the evening of dinner and drinks comes to a close, and specifically more for, although there is a general excitement in each of you, a little bit more specifically tailored towards Raven and Claudia, as the imminent invitational matches are arriving for them. The evening presses on as you all get as much sleep as you possibly can, as the train continues its course along the long tracks that feel like they just won't end. As the next morning approaches, there's even more of that kind of almost pit in your stomach, but jittery and excited, as you know that your destination is about to be reached, and for some of you, as a chance to prove yourself and as a chance to accomplish a goal that you have. For some, there's this opportunity of finally receiving knowledge that they have been thirsting for, and for some, the ability to prove yourself in a different way, through the love and the passion that they have as being hired to do this job in Aplaby. The day itself is pretty dull and empty, as most of the train participants are just kind of keeping to themselves in their rooms, as they are just more excited to get off the train. For most of them, a very exciting train ride, considering the events that have happened over the past couple of days. So there's not really a whole lot of activity kind of happening on the train itself. You all eventually, kind of feel, as the hour draws closer to the arrival in Aplaby, and as the sun begins its evening descent, still kind of casting, a bright gold over the grassy fields. Eventually, some of you even start to look out the windows to see the arrival of the city, as pretty quickly getting closer to your destination. the landscape kind of starts to shift a little bit. There's still the grassy fields around you, but now there's more evidence of trees and not open spaces, but areas beginning to cluster. You can even start to almost, as you get closer, you almost can even start to see on the outline of the city itself a small mist that looks to be kind of like a cloud of smog sitting over a city. So, as you all begin to make preparations, one last time, is there anything that you all wish to do before arriving in Aplaby?
Like as we leave the train, I'll. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Nothing
Alrighty
crazy.
then.
I'll let me peer into Nathan's window, I guess, as we walk past it.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Guidance.
Thank you. $18.
18. I only saw the 2, and I was like, man. 18. Is this the first time you've peered into Nathan's room?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, I set an alarm outside of it.
You did, but you didn't
I
really,
didn't really look in.
into. Yeah, because he's also pretty secretive about what's going on in there. As you are kind of carrying your things over your shoulder, as you can even feel the train coming to a slower descent, or a slower pace. Excuse me. You are able to kind of peer through some of the closed blinds a little bit. To you, it's an absolute mess in this room, being the first time that you've seen it. Again, papers just kind of sprawled out everywhere. You can even see that Nathan is working on something. It's kind of hard to tell because with the blinds and everything, what he's really working on, but he's definitely, so focused, not even really paying attention to see if anyone's kind of trying to peer into the room. For anyone else that would have looked into the room that has seen the room already, the mess would have gotten bigger. So just to kind of give you an idea of what is kind of going on in the room right now. But for you, this is the first time you've seen it. It's definitely just a man that seems to be very hard at work and very delved into his studies. But as far as you can tell, he seems fine. Just more soaked into what he's doing at the moment.
Well, cool.
Alrighty. Anybody else? Well, so before that happens, this up real quick. So, as the train slowly but surely begins to deaccelerate and coming to a much slower pace, as you can even start to almost feel like maybe it's just the excitement or the jitters inside you, but it almost feels as if the city itself is kind of washing over you as the train slowly and lets off, the loud steam and horn of the train, pulls into the station of Aplaby. And as I describe this, to give you guys a better look, so for those of you that are familiar with the Republic and with Aplaby itself, Nestled along the banks of the swift-flowing Larkspur River, Aplaby is, for most of you, as you are exiting the train, which the train station is right down here. The very first look that you all, for those visiting for the first time, it is a picturesque town that thrives in the shadow of nature's grandeur. The town is perched, and it's very apparent as soon as you step off onto the train station. The town is perched around a magnificent waterfall known as Silverfall. A river cascades down a series of rocky terraces. The constant roar of the waterfall, which was the first thing that you all noticed when arriving into the city, can be heard anywhere in town. It almost creates a serene backdrop to daily life. The heart of Aplaby is built on a rise beside the river, with wooden and stone buildings clustered together in narrow, winding streets that follow the natural curves of the land. The structures are sturdy, crafted from local stone and timber, the rooftops covered in weathered slate tiles. Many of the buildings have small balconies or terraces that offer stunning views of the river and the falls. As you're exiting, and Claudia, as you kind of take a look around to see if you are able to see Z, go ahead and make a perception check. There is, as Claudia is doing it, there is a palpable excitement. As soon as you step off, there are small vendors set up along the street outside of the train station, with children kind of running through with small little flags that kind of tail rather long as it just kind of flows with the breeze as they're running. Many of the vendors are offering up, obviously for sale, but they're offering up their goods, and whether it be salted porks or fruits. But it definitely seems that there is the anticipation of the invitational is very apparent in the city. As you kind of step off of the train station itself, with a 7, you don't see Z anywhere. But you're more kind of caught up in just the overall excitement of of finally making it to the invitational, and with what is just kind of happening and going on, you're more focused on that. Stepping off the station and onto the open road, the first road of the city, you're met with the waterfall to your left, just kind of continuously rushing over and pouring into the river below. But yeah, so the excitement is there, as the sun is starting to begin its descent as you are arriving in the late afternoon. And as you're kind of continue walking, start your walk through the streets, many vendors are trying to sell you their goods, offering up their the fruits and the dried porks. You can even see that there are even some small entertainers that are doing small prestidigitation magic for children that are all just kind of gasping and awing and giving praise to these caricatures, as again, the excitement is in the air. Welcome to Aplaby, guys. What would you guys like to do? Easy enough.
That's the one he picked out of everything. Makes sense.
Easy enough. First vendor, you just bullet to him. It'll for kind of like Asian street food style. Just kind of fries it up in front of you and puts it into like a small bag. We'll say it costs you a 2 copper for it. Yeah, Sure, why not? What is there a particular? Yeah. Is there a particular one that you're looking for? Oh god.
Oh, God.
So like a harmonica holder, but just with meat. Sure. We'll for four of them,
Or-
we'll say it's going to cost you a silver piece, and that will include the meat, the slab of ham that is strung across them. It definitely does have a very I mean, like when we were in Nashville, there you could definitely, obviously we were tourists as well, but you could definitely pick out the tourists in Nashville. It's kind of the same thing. You can definitely tell, between local and tourists. There are even some like wearing like T-shirts of like I'm just here for the invitational, shit like that.
Nice.
But the city is definitely in an uproar at this moment. So you get your meat souvenir. Why do I feel like that thing is going to come back to haunt me later in this game?
Look,
Yeah,
everything
but
you give Joe comes back to haunt you.
I feel like there were a couple times last campaign. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And then you still found a way to use it. So
I'll fashion this turkey hat into something that holds this horn, which casts constant disadvantage to everybody I'm facing.
oh yeah.
Where usually you have to have a hand holding it, but now I have both hands free, which allows me to cast.
Hey,
Alrighty.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, y'all finish that.
No, that's it.
Okay. So, just as a point of order, a couple housekeeping things. Number one, Claudia and Raven, you two need to register for the invitational, which you guys are going to be heading to the Black Soul Stadium. It is a smaller, it's a smaller venue compared to the regional and the finals of the games. But you will need to at least check in and register at some point before the games.
I think I see it.
Yep, right here. For Zegrok, you will be looking for Lilith Trisveris.
Ooh.
You know her as the owner of the River's Respite, which is the tavern that you were hired to help cook with during the games.
cool. Is that near the games, I'm assuming?
It is. So it would technically be over here.
Gotcha.
And for Anders, this name is a lot harder to say, but you are looking for Zirathra Emberfang.
Oh, that is definitely a mouthful to have.
How'd you say that first name?
Zirathra.
Okay.
Zirathra.
But you know that she is located at the Aplaby library. And the library is nestled in the main town center, which is over here. By the way, this is not the
Nerd.
entire. This is not the entire city. This is just a snapshot of it.
A
So,
slice.
just to kind of
Yeah.
give you guys an idea. Okay. So, with those housekeeping things, what are you guys doing?
Hmm.
Well, I feel like it's important for us to find a place to sleep.
I think it would be nice to do that together.
Why
I
is
give a
mine already
hearty
greasy?
laugh. Yeah.
Why is mine already greasy? Oh, thank you. No. I'll refill it whenever I desire to.
Hmm. An intriguing design, indeed. However, there are significant improvements to be made regarding the apex of the delivery system, as well as further adjustments to accommodate the wearer's head size and the size of the meal.
Anyways,
Please,
about that
please. Thank
inn
you.
that we're looking for, because we did say we'd like to stick together. Oh, well, that's quite convenient. Well, lead the way.
Oh, do not stare at the sun like that, Claudia.
Go ahead and make a history check, Claudia.
Now just imagine a giant burning Jacob in the air.
Yeah.
Like Teletubbies.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying, just like a Teletubby.
So the most famous inn or tavern is the River's Respite. It is famous for being a riverside tavern, kind of built on the water's edge. So like it has like a wooden deck that kind of extends over the river, where patrons can enjoy a drink while watching the water rush beneath them. It's known for its fresh ale brewed with pure river water, and it's warm. It has a warm hearth lit common room. There's often it's a very popular spot for travelers and locals as well. It's kind of like picture like a Joe's Crab Shack in your touristy areas. But it's filled with sounds of laughter and music. And coincidentally, that is also where you need to head, Zeg.
Yes. That would be a perfect location.
Well, then, lead the way.
Alrighty.
I try mine on, but it's a little too small.
Can I quickly make an adjustment to that with my Tinker's tools?
Sure.
I'm proficient
You are. I just need to figure out what kind of check that is.
Yeah, me too. I guess just dexterity.
I would think so, but let me just check.
You could add your proficiency from Tinker's Tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say dexterity, and then add your proficiency modifier.
Nice. 16.
Nice, yeah. You're able to kind of quickly, attach an extender in the middle of it that allows it to either widen or shrinken, depending upon the individual's head size.
Fortunately, the crafter included a quick release mechanism on the headband. I can just apply this, and there you go.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So you make your way through, the road, passing by, the excitable, townsfolk and tourists, crossing over the bridge into the, which Claudia, you would know as the Larkspur Market. But this is the main square area of Aplaby. I'm so sorry. That is
Market.
Sorry. Nope. Yep. That's sorry. Wrong thing. Nope. That is the Larkspur Market. I was thinking of something else. But yeah. The kind of sits, just like most of the rest of the city, sitting on the edge of the river. There are vibrant stalls that are kind of, as you kind of get over the bridge, you can start to notice that these are cobble streets. But there's, vibrant stalls that sell everything from freshly caught fish to finely woven textiles. Many traders from upriver towns and distant cities will come here to trade their goods, and it's a pretty lively hub of commerce. But that does eventually lead you, which as you guys reach the end of the market, you can then see the stadium itself. And then this will bring you into the Falls District, which is where the Rivers Respite lives. The Falls District is closest to Silverfall, the waterfall in the city. The mist from the waterfall kind of hangs in the air. There are small shops here that kind of cling to the riverbank, built with terraces and walkways that wind between rocky outcroppings. The air is cool and damp. There's even some moss kind of growing thick on in certain surfaces. The roar of the falls is pretty loud here. But there are many artisans that will take advantage of the constant flow of water for their crafts. Potters, weavers, and even some metal workers kind of run water powered mills in this part of the town. But eventually you do find the notorious Rivers Respite, kind of seeing the wooden deck that kind of extends L-shaped around the tavern itself. Mainly towards like the left and the backside. If you've ever been to like a Florida restaurant, it kind of looks kind of looks like that a little bit, like just kind of overlooks the ocean and things like that, but in the sense the river. As you're kind of walking up the wooden steps to the front doors and push them open, it is already just jam-packed with patrons, as there are many drinks being had and mugs being clinked together. There's even a small band kind of off in a corner, creating a very light atmosphere within the main room itself. There are multiple different servers pushing past each other, trying to quickly get drinks and meals out to the patrons themselves. The sunlight even kind of pours into the main area, lighting the area very well. Kind of past all the patrons itself, you can even see like a full L-shaped bar top that it doesn't seem like there's an empty seat in the house. Off to the right side, you can even see what looks to be a human male kind of wearing like a black button-down shirt, very well, black slacks and everything. And he definitely looks like he's just kind of overseeing the area, and he's kind of standing in front of a podium itself.
We get a table first.
Yes,
Like a
let
pack.
us check vacancy first.
Alrighty. Good evening. Welcome to the River's Respite. How may I be of service? As he kind of pulls out a quill, kind of dabs it on his tongue. He pulls out another, what looks to be like a ledger, starts kind of flipping through it. Oof. Well, you all picked kind of a bad day for that. We seem to be getting quite full. Let's see. Kind of flips through the pages a little bit. Here we go. How many rooms will you be looking for?
Yeah,
If possible.
2 might be hard to swing. It looks as if I only have 1 room available.
Very well.
Yeah, it looks like only 1 room available. And he kind of glances over at you, Zegruk, and kind of takes the quill and kind of points at you. You must be the bugbear, correct? Zegruk, I believe?
yes, pleasure to meet you, Chef Zegrok Blaybear.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just a moment, please. As he kind of leaves the podium and heads towards, as you see, as he kind of starts to travel along the right side of the room itself. You can see a staircase, kind of blended into the walls itself. That look to even have like a almost a floor to ceiling window, because there's just light protruding through, kind of illuminating the staircase. You would imagine that leads to the rooms that are available in the upstairs part of the tavern. Pushing past that, he goes into what looks to be a kind of a office-like area. As he kind of opens the door, kind of pokes his head in, you can see like half his body hanging out. After a couple of seconds, he kind of pulls back, and this time he is being followed by a very young and beautiful female human that is kind of making her way over to you all. Kind of shoulder length blonde hair, very almost can't think of the word of it, just almost kind of smaller glasses that are just kind of sitting on the bridge of her nose. She's wearing kind of almost like a fluff white dress shirt with black slacks as well, as she kind of, arrives at the podium to you all. Zagrak, it is such a pleasure to finally meet you. I am Lilith Trisvaris.
A pleasure to meet you as well, ma'am.
We have heard such wonderful things about you, and of course, it cannot be overstated that the thanks is very much appreciated for what, as you can already see, is clearly a busy time.
I might have to get started sooner than I thought.
Well, we won't put you to work right away. We understand it must have been a long journey for you, but, we can work out those details later. I am understanding that you all are looking for rooms, yes?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So, Zagrak, we already have a room prepared for you, as that is part of the payment that we are offering you the lodging. As for your friends, we, as I understand it, only have one more room available for the, well, how many nights are you all looking to stay? Obviously, I assume throughout the invitationals.
Yeah.
Of course, as most do. So that will be for 7 days then. We are booked throughout that time, and there is only one room available. Unfortunately, it is it's not a very large room, and there are only 2 beds. However, Zeg, may I call you Zeg?
Oh, please.
Perfect. Zeg, your room does accompany a small couch. If someone is willing to, bunk up with you, we can certainly arrange lodging at a smaller discount for that.
Anders, if you are willing.
Well, that sounds like it'd be right up my alley. I am quite small.
Oh, yes, you are. That is so adorable.
Well, I'm not a child.
I know, but, halflings just excite me. Lilith Trisvaris, nice to meet you. She kind of turns to Claudia and Raven. Lilith Trisvaris? Lilith Trisvaris. Well, then this is wonderful. Then I will have my associate finish up the rooms. Zeg, I would be, excited to greet you whenever you have some free time. Please just make your way to my office, and we will discuss the rest of your time here.
That sounds wonderful.
Perfect. So, I'll leave you to it. As she kind of rushes back, and as she's even kind of heading back to the office, someone else kind of interrupts her path, and she's then being dragged away to a table that's kind of in the middle of the tavern itself, and greets the rest of them. You can even slightly hear her as she's Lilith Trisvaris, introducing herself to everyone at the table. Well,
You
wonderful.
should get a name tag.
So, well, wonderful. So, for the one room, for the full week, it looks like that is going to run for 5 silver pieces, and for Mr. Anders staying with Zegrak, looks like we can probably put you down. How are you also staying for the full week?
Oh, well, I wasn't planning on it, but I guess I am now.
Well, it's at a discount, and of course, the River's Respite. I mean, you're not going to find any better ale in the city than here, of course, and with the amazing view over the river. So, but if at the small discount, we can even run it for 5 copper pieces for the week.
Oh, okay. That sounds like quite the deal.
Excellent. So, for the 2 lovely ladies, shall I put you down for the week? Perfect. Well,
Do you have change for gold? Like, all I have is gold.
We can work that out. So, as he kind of even picks up, you see what looks to be a very thin metal whistle as he kind of blows into it as he's finishing writing in the ledger. A younger human male, definitely looks, maybe 18. Looks like this might be his like first job ever. As he kind of runs up and he's, yes, please help our guests with their bags to their rooms. And as he kind of passes off keys to all of you, enjoy your stay at the River's Respite.
Sir, are you tired of holding that whistle all day? Well, if you might be interested in a contraption that can hold that whistle perfectly in front of your face.
You mean
all
the meat
day.
hooks?
The meat hooks, yeah.
As he kind of places it on the podium, I'll be fine.
Oh.
Thank you. Also, I don't know if you noticed, no soliciting. There was a sign at the door.
Oh.
Enjoy your stay. As he then kind of, not rudely, but kind of waves you on as he then greets the people that are behind you. All right. I guess I'll be taking up your luggage. If you wouldn't mind, follow me. As he kind of grabs some of your bags, leads you to your rooms. We don't have to, go into that description or anything. They're, pretty. You guys are getting kind of basic rooms. Obviously, Zeg, this is just free lodging, so it's not, the most lavish room in the tavern. But it's cozy and it'll do the job. Kind of the same thing for Claudia and Raven, as it seems that you guys kind of luckily arrived at the right time, but just kind of getting just your basic accommodations. But you guys get everything settled in. The bellhop kind of gives you each a bow, and then and he catches it and gives you a even more elaborate bow, and as he's heads out on his way. So, you guys are at the River's Respite. What would you guys like to do?
Claudia, do you know if Aplaby has a courier system capable of sending messages beyond the borders of the Republic?
Yeah, there is mail with the right amount of money. There is a mail service, but obviously if you're trying to move messages outside of the Republic, it would be at a higher cost, especially if it's going to a different continent, which I believe is what you're kind of going for here. It would be at a bit of a higher cost, but there is the capability of doing that.
Thank you, Claudia. I'll have to stop by there at some point. Just a letter back to my family, letting them know I'm in Aplaby. Well, my father tried to teach me about a way to do it arcane style, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. Yeah? Yeah. With that, they don't even need the other sending stone either. Perhaps. Anyway, should we get a table? Oh.
Okay. Just for some some housekeeping notes as well. Claudia and Raven, y'all's room would be on the 3rd floor of the establishment, while Zeg and Anders, yours would be on the 2nd floor. Both are kind of tucked away in like kind of back corners of the hallways. Because again, they're not the more lavished rooms. Unfortunately, your windows also overlook the street as opposed to the river. All right. So you all reconvening for dinner?
Oh, I suppose I should see if dinner is on me.
Oh, good. Are you gonna go try and find Lilith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Zagrok's pretty excited to start as soon as possible.
Alrighty. So, for the other 3, we'll say that you look for a table while Zeg kind of branches off to go meet with Lilith. You kind of, if you guys ever been in a super busy bar, you just kind of have to bide and wait your time until a table opens up at this point, and you probably after like 25 minutes or so, you kind of snatch one as people begin to leave. Zeg, we'll come back to that here in a second. Zeg, you make your way over to the office door, the River's Respite, with your big palm. You try to knock, not too heavy as to startle anyone, but there's definitely a big boom, boom, boom. Before eventually the door opens and Lilith is standing before you. Zeg, wonderful. Please come in. As you are introduced to, probably medium-sized office. Definitely looks, very, very business forward. You can see, the small desk that kind of sits in the middle, surrounded by shelves on either side with what just look to be, note-keeping books for Lilith, whether it be towards her profits, inventory, things like that. But she kind of sits down across from you as you, take a seat on the other side of the desk. Well, I do hope that your journey was quite pleasant.
Yes. In a matter of speaking, we had a little trouble with bandits, but
Oh my! That is shocking.
nothing my new friends couldn't handle.
Oh, well, you're saying you took care of the bandits?
Yes, we
My.
we actually became a bit of working security for the train.
Well, calling me surprised. That is, I did not know we were getting such a multi-talented individual for this.
Well, I'm much more suited in the kitchen, I believe.
Of course. Well, why else would we have hired you on the staff?
Yeah.
Well, perfect. So, as the previously agreed upon, you have your room, and then, of course, for the week that you will be staying with us, you will be earning 1 gold per day. And, again, any extra, if there's, any extra things we can work out, we can work that out. But, are we still upon the agreement?
That is very reasonable. I appreciate that. I look forward to getting started as soon as I can.
Well, I mean, I don't want to put you to work right away. I'm sure it must have been, especially, having to take, control over the situation with those bandits. I wouldn't want to rush you into anything. And you're more than welcome to start tomorrow if that is to your liking.
Well, that's fine. Sure.
Perfect. Well, then, I don't believe there's anything else for us to discuss. So, report to the chef tomorrow morning, and I'm sure we will get you, situated.
It is lovely to meet you once again.
Oh, it was a pleasure. And if you have any issues, please let me know, okay?
Of course.
Alrighty. Have a wonderful evening. So as you make your way out of the office, I think, Joe did PP time. During that time, is there any, you guys eventually, heck, in between the time that it took Zeg to have his conversation, you guys are still waiting for a table, but eventually, the one does open up. Is there anything you guys wish to do or discuss?
Well, it seems as busy as they are, I will be starting tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be under a lot of pressure. This place is beyond filled. We just waited for a table the entire time you were gone.
Well, it was worth it. Lovely view of the entertainment as well. Oh.
What? What kind of... Oh. Oh. Yes, perhaps we can harness their energy. To blow off pants. I understand. Just not one I'm used to. Yeah, should we have done that today?
You have, you basically have, like, they offer registration like till the day before the invitational, because again, the invitational is whoever wants to have a bout can try. It's not like you get like 50 different fighters or anything. It's usually roughly for both style of games, you usually get about 20 or so, and then those 10 move. The winner of of those, usually half of them, so roughly about 10, move on to the regionals. But they give you you have until the day before, which at this point you have about 5 days or so until the invitationals start. So, well, after today, 4 days. So you have 3 days to register.
I can't relax.
Well, sure you can. It is easy. Watch this. And I relax and
You fart?
I lean back and kind of like release some tension in my kind of big paunch belly.
I must ascertain what I'm up against. Preparation is key. Yes. Although, I've devised a plan against those damn ropes.
What
I
happened with
idea.
the ropes?
Well, it required a bit more physical strength that I'm lacking in.
Ah. I see, I see.
I have an idea this time, though. But I was just saying I would first have to review the rules. Make sure I'm not disobeying anything. Yes.
Claudia, this might be a long shot here, but you do seem familiar with the area. Do you happen to know where the Aplaby library is? That's what I was afraid of.
You do know that, like, you've never been to the library because you're cool. Um, you do know that it is in the Larkspur Market. Based off your 15 history check, you know you've been here a couple times, I would say. So you're at least familiar enough with some major locations and things like that. But you do know that it's in the Larkspur Market.
All right, well, thank you very much.
I wouldn't miss it. If I can get away, I plan on supporting you as much as possible.
I mean, my only task here is just to get this scroll checked out, so may as well. I find
That is true. Any additional encouragement empowers us.
well, I'll do my best.
Well, makes a significant difference if the crowd stands in your favor or against you.
Well, you
Well,
will have us.
I find it hard to believe that anybody else could beat the two of you.
Yeah. And if they're altered by pharmaceuticals, like the rat bastards from before. Do you think that'll come up again? It has to. Yeah, Anders and Zeg, allow me to fill you in. During the tryouts, there were 2 individuals using drugs to enhance their performance.
Oh,
We nearly found ourselves in trouble because of it. Yeah. Turns out you can just win your innocence with a trial by combat.
well, that seems like a strange way to prove your innocence, but
That's what
it works,
I've
it
been
works.
saying. Barbaric.
that seems quite fair, especially from what I can assume is just a rowdy group of people.
Trial and counsel is what I've grown up with.
I prefer to settle my differences over a drink, but maybe I will try this tactic if a problem arises in the kitchen.
Apparently. Keep that in mind. You could even be the one in the wrong. If you win, yeah, you're fine. It is true. Don't do it in the library, Anders.
Well, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, but I don't plan on getting them dirty in a library, especially with so many books around.
I like you, Anders.
Thanks, Raven. I like you too, even though you do intimidate me with your appearance sometimes.
Noted.
So as you guys are kind of having this conversation, and you know, your drinks are kind of brought to you, and you know, you have your for some just straight protein meals. Eventually a table kind of opens up next to you guys, and you know, just as you're kind of seeing sporadically, as some patrons are either leaving or moving to, you know, better tables, or moving out onto the patio, and you know, we're kind of at the point now where the sun is kind of even you know, peaked, you know, not peaked, excuse me, has you know, almost its full descent. So there's a nice you know, warm glow over the horizon, and you know, the you can even start to somewhat see as the night sky is, you know, taking over. So some people are kind of moving out towards the patio area. But as this table opens up, you see, you know, just kind of rugged looking fishermen that, you know, quickly nab it, having to beat out another group of patrons that, you know, give the threats as they, you know, move away and, you know, start to scout for a new table opening up. Their hair looks matted and wet. Their clothes, you can even, you know, smell the catch of the day on them as they kind of sit down. There's about 3 of them, as they, you know, kind of sit down and they start beginning their conversation. Rough one today, boys. I'll tell you, with everything that's going on lately, beginning if I'm wondering if I should just take the week off.
Aye,
hear you there. A lot of these days are just, basking out in the sun. I feel like I'm just gonna become one of the dried meat sellers on the side of the road. Say, you fellas heard any more stories at all? Aye, me heard a few things today. Seems that the river is picking up a little bit. A lot of weird stuff been happening, especially man, with the festival right after the invitationals. I don't know if they're going to be ready for it. Right. I also don't know if you all heard about what happened at the arena today too, but I tell you, these things are not right around here. So as you guys are kind of listening into this to these conversations, and just kind of listening in. So the main thing that you gather from the conversation, two things. Number one, so and Claudia, you would know this. Aplaby, at the end of the invitational, they hold a festival of the river, kind of a not a closing game ceremony, because that happens after the games are fully closed. But it's more of like, hey, the invitationals are done. Now we're in the full swing of the games, right? So, part of that festival is, the street vendors are live. Very kind of Mardi Gras-esque of, but the main thing is the well wishes for the champions. Many people will light candles and set them afloat on the river. Some even claiming that they're, that you can even cast a wish, with that candle, and the river will lead it to its destination, fulfilling that wish. Whether that's true or not is up to the individual. The main part of that conversation, though, kind of leads to a lot of fishermen there's talk amongst them, and how there are some weird things happening in the river. Some are claiming to seeing weird lights, kind of towards the depths of the river. And some are even claiming, for those that take port near Silverfall, some have even claimed that they have seen weird lights coming from the waterfall itself. The other conversation is towards the arena. While a somewhat notable, not a full champion, he's never won the games, but he has made it. He has made it to the finals before, where he was knocked out in the first round. But he's kind of the city's champion in that sense. He was having a sparring match today, and in the middle of the match he seemed to collapse, but his opponent never got a strike on him. And there is talk that there was outside interference, seeing as how the opponent never landed a blow on him. But they kind of have these conversations, just kind of the gossip of what's been going on lately. But do what you will with that information.
You hear that, Claudia? Dropping an opponent without a blow?
I'm more intrigued by these lights in the water and the waterfall itself.
Strange to see lights in the middle of a flowing waterfall.
I definitely wouldn't mind checking out this waterfall. I'd be fine doing that tonight. I mean, what better time to see lights in the water than in the dark, right?
Yes. And maybe we just camp out on the dock.
We buy a fishing pole, you know, to divert onlookers. You know, you just have a fishing pole, you're on the river, you're fine, right?
Sounds like solid logic to me.
Have any of you fished before?
A little bit
I
here
have
and there.
no idea. I understand the design, not the use.
Yeah, fished a bit.
Right. A little evening fishing, shall we?
Now fishing is all about the bait that you use. That is what I have learned.
Oh.
Hmm.
We should find
Patty.
something very stinky.
Well,
Okay.
I've only ever used worms, but I suppose we can try it that way. I've never heard this before.
Oh, we need 2 more. One for each of us. And then see who catches the most fish. Alright, salted pork. And then I will use
Or Raven,
sure
I
I-
have an idea.
Oh,
I have also heard that besides using actual live food, worms, bait, some people have created little fish that they make, like out of wood, metal, something like that.
I could make something like that. Exactly. Like a small metal fish with perhaps like sharp barbs for if the fish bites it, then it gets stuck. Just kidding, guys. I know what you use a hook while fishing. But that's a good idea. Yeah. 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 Well, what if that's what all the other fishermen are doing and these guys are just out of the game? The lights in the waterfall are just, superior
You have no
bait.
idea what you're talking about, do you? As the fishermen are now looking over at you guys.
Yeah, we're talking about fishing.
Oh, truly I do not. Sorry, we overheard you.
Fucking tourist. As they kind of grab their drinks and move out of the way, and a new group of patrons overtake their table.
Oh, well, before you leave, maybe if I could buy you a drink, you could tell me what bait you would use.
They kind of look at each other, look back at you all. All right. First drink. Then I'll give you my secret as a fisherman.
I'll buy them whatever they're drinking.
Alrighty. So a round of ales eventually comes. All right. Here's the secret to a good fisherman. It's all about the right bait, right? What I like to use is a secret that has been held down from my family for generation after generation. Now,
My
what you gonna
father
do-
and my father's father.
Yeah, my father and my father's father. Now, what you want to do is you're going to not be on the docks, not be in a boat. You want to get wading in the water, right? You want to make sure that you're about chest high in the water. And you're going to wait there for a little bit. Gonna wait for a while. And then, once the stillness has taken over you and the water has stopped moving, that's when the fish will start to swarm you, right? Eventually, you'll probably have quite a few around you. And then, once they've gotten comfortable around you, you can then, as he kind of leans in real close, then you pull out your pecker and then maybe they'll grab onto it. As they kind of slap. Just use whatever bait you feel like, you fucking chumps. As they then move on about their way.
He didn't mean that in a literal sense. He honestly, I had a feeling that it was going to go that way. He just got a free drink on his egg. Well, I don't think my reflexes are fast enough for that, but that is certainly something you might try.
Are you sure? Mechanical advancements is the evolvement of society. You just rode a train here. What are you gonna do, walk?
Well, fishing has been around for centuries. Some things exist outside of mechanical advancement, Raven.
Raven will remember that.
It sounds like a challenge to me. Mysterious lights or not, it sounds like a lovely time.
Well, we should get fishing poles before it gets too dark and they stop selling them.
Well, let's go.
All right. Okay. All right. So, we'll you can probably even buy a fishing pole off of a fisherman. We won't go into full detail on it. We'll say, how many poles are you looking to get?
Apparently 3.
3? Okay. We'll say that's going to cost you a gold and a half, so a gold and 5 silver for 3. And then if you're looking for bait, obviously you can buy higher end bait, but if you're just looking for something basic, probably, between the 3 of you, we'll say 2 copper pieces.
Okay, so 5 silver, 2 copper each.
Okay. So
I'm gonna throw in 6 silver to get the real stinky stuff.
Okay. So, with the purchased equipment, and the, after paying your, we'll work that out later as well. Paying your bar tabs and acquiring your fishing equipment for your late evening trial. The night sky really takes in
Night sky.
and consumes Aplaby. Even with the night sky, the excitement is still throughout the entire city. The streets are lit with, kind of very similar to what was on the trains. These almost kind of magical lanterns, providing, well lit streets, and many patrons are still, involved into the night. So, where would you guys like to try and fish?
I want to wade in. But they,
I'm more intrigued by the waterfall area, but
Okay. Yeah, so near the waterfall itself, there's not like any like set fishing spot. Not a lot of people really fish there just because of the waterfall itself. Further down, about where Claudia pointed out, there is like a dock area that you and you kind of saw it as you were traversing through the city itself. As that is kind of where some people, almost a pier like quality dock, where some people, just for sport, not for the actual like profession, kind of, some of you probably even saw like, pretty small fish being caught in those areas, with excited children, being, pretty stoked that they were able to catch something. And just, in between the two, there is kind of like a more, kind of wading in area. You can even see like this area has like almost a swimming area for and kind of sectioned off by small buoys, where you can see that some people are partaking in. But if you would like to be closer to the waterfall, you're more than welcome to. So,
well, it needs to be fishable.
okay, so you guys are gonna go for like the swimming area.
Like public swimming?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably not a good idea, Claudia. A similar depth, but less active.
Okay.
Well, maybe slightly upriver from swimming area.
Yeah, maybe on the other side. Okay.
I'll, I'll try closer towards the waterfall. This is really piquing my interest. So I'm thinking, like,
I'll also wade, but towards the waterfall, away from the pier and away from the net of swimming area.
Alrighty. So, let me see something real quick.
thinking like where I drew that A.
A little down
yeah.
from Anders.
What? Oh yeah. He's rolling around on the rug right now. No. No, it's Amos. Nah, he's doing his rawr, rawr, rawr.
Yeah, sure. Blame the dog.
I always do. He has been the perfect scapegoat for me. All right, so Anders, you're going to be a little bit closer to the waterfall, and everyone else, you're just going to kind of be in between the swimming and pier area.
So what? Can you mark on the map where those would be?
Yeah. So let me freehand. So that's like the swimming area, and that's the pier.
Gotcha. Okay. Then yeah, I'd be waiting and trying to fish like right here-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go right here.
Alrighty. So for those that are fishing, go ahead and give me survival checks.
Survival.
Yeah.
All
To
right.
try and catch these here fish. Oh.
Raven, I will give you Bardic Inspiration.
Nice. I wouldn't guidance because I'm not. I wouldn't be thinking of it as like me trying to do something. It's just like a natural. Anyways, but I
I will not give you Bardic Inspiration. No, I'm still giving it to you.
You can save that,
I mean,
Bardic.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah. That's You look over to try to give me Bardic Inspiration. I'm like waist deep, and just honestly, I would pull apart the reel from the fishing pole, be like looking at it, like this isn't right, and I'm just like barely fishing at all.
Well, we'll get to that. Claudia, are you fishing? Okay. Okay, so you're just gonna wait for a moment? Okay, that's fine. Anders, for you, with a 20, you wouldn't think that there would be a lot of fish in the area. But you kind of cast out and you can feel the pull of the river itself, kind of leading the pole itself. And after a second, you feel a small tug. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity. Oh, okay.
And we're going to see if you're able. A 12. Okay. We might need another one after this, but you feel something catch and instinctively you pull up on your pole and you begin to start to reel it in. Go ahead and give me another one and we'll see if you're able to pull it in. So you're able to hook it. Now let's see if you can pull it in. Nice.
Oh.
So as you get a natural, as you begin to, you get the first pull, hooking it, and just with a couple turns and then one big hit, as you heave this pretty decent sized fish over your head and onto the dry land behind you. Raven, a little further downstream, you begin, using what knowledge you have. You begin to start lining up your shot, and as you fling out the line, you forgot that there's a weight on the end of the other pole, at the end of the line, so that way it would sink and therefore, hopefully catch something closer to the depths. And you weren't really prepared for how much the river pulls on that weight and offers resistance. And just as the water hit, or as the end of the line hits the water, the pole is immediately out of your hands and is now floating down the river. Yeah, eventually, after 30 seconds or so, the pole then kind of passes you.
Can I cast a message to Claudia?
Sure, she's probably in range.
I'll say, Claudia, you might see a fishing pole floating near your location in a relative manner. Would you mind getting that for me? Yes. I cast it again. Yes.
So are you going to try and grab the pole, Claudia? All right, go ahead, give me an athletics check to see if you can swim out and grab it. Yeah, that pole is down the river. By the time, with the communication between you and Raven, by the time you realize where it is, it's already going. Yep.
Oh.
It goes past you, and as you try and swim, further in, with the water kind of splashing around you, the current has already picked up and taken it downstream, and you realize that you messed up your set to try and freehand catch a fish.
I'll cast message again. Uriah, I saw movement. What is the result of your actions?
Claudia.
Did I really say Uriah? Oh no.
You did.
That's probably gonna happen more.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, if you hear me pause on someone's name, it's usually because I'm probably saying the original name.
Uriah is the one I will say the easiest, so that will not be the first time. I'll slump back to the shore and think of better designed fishing poles that are attached to you by a tether.
So, Claudia will get, since I'm going to allow you to reset up. Everyone that's kind of waiting around, Anders, you're pretty proud of that first fish that you caught. Since you're all kind of spread out, I will allow everyone to make perception checks.
I haven't rolled my survival yet, also.
Oh, well, y'all only bought 3 poles, right? Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot Claudia's freehand.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and...
I'm tying a second weight onto mine and trying to go for a bottom feeder.
Okay.
Oh.
19, yeah. So, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can pull it in.
Oh no!
You feel it give a tug, And as you get really excited, you try to yank on it to set the hook in, but your fingers kind of, thanks to Claudia's passing of meats, you had to wipe your face at one point, and there was just a little bit of grease left, and your hand kind of slipped, and you feel the whatever hooked onto it get away. And as you kind of reel it in, you realize that your bait is gone too, but you can reset that up. Anders, excuse me, Anders, and yep, thank you. And 4. Okay. All of you are, Claudia will say that you're, so focused on these fish right now. All of and Anders and Zeg, you guys are also just more excited about the fishing at this point. All of you are kind of focused. Raven, as you're kind of sitting there like staring down the river, waiting, and then contemplating this, new idea of a fishing pole that is attached and won't be able to leave your hands.
Yeah, I got like a full waist belt design in my head.
And as you kind of ponder as you kind of are looking into the river, you are kind of broken out of that thought as you see it starts as a soft glow at first. And almost like a I can't really think of anything that would be its equivalent, but it it starts as a soft glow before it brightens and then dims again. It brightens and dims again. And as it continuously does this, you notice that it's moving upstream towards the waterfall.
Well, that's strange.
And before we do that, before we get into that, Claudia, go ahead and make a survival check at advantage since you kind of waited for the fish to surround you with as they're kind of nibbling on the salted porks. Okay, 18. So you managed to kind of wait for one to get like right under right under your chest, and you managed to wrap your hands around it. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can hold on to it, or if it will just squirm out. Yeah, 9. You kind of fumble it for a sec, almost like a bar of soap, as it kind of like slips through your fingers before eventually bloop and swims away. Before it eventually just swims away, and then this disturbs all the other fish as well. So, you guys gonna keep fishing? What are you guys doing?
Well, shortly after, I would say, I guess Claudia. Well, whenever it happens in the timeline, I'll message Claudia again and say, Claudia, I perceive something. I'm moving upstream. It might be what the fishermen were talking about. And then I'll start walking up the shore, kind of following the path of this thing I've seen.
Before too long,
I'll
you all
reel in and follow.
Yeah, before too long, you all reconvene, kind of towards the base of the waterfall. Anders, you were kind of more near it already. So, but the loud roar of the water as it is filling the river below. But you do kind of keep an eye on this brightening and dimming light that is almost seems to be swimming upstream. Before eventually all of you kind of reconvene at the base of the waterfall. Raven, since you're keeping an eye on it, go ahead and give me another perception check, as now that you're near the base of the waterfall, the water is more disturbed. So we're going to see if you can keep an eye on it.
Oh,
You still have my bardic.
you gotta give me time.
I'll allow guidance, and you do still have bardic inspiration.
Since it's gonna,
Do you apply?
Yes,
I like
guidance.
carry all of you. I see something in the river.
Yeah, we'll
What do you
say
see,
that.
Raven?
Yeah, we'll say
touch
that.
Raven's back.
Yeah,
Ooh,
while
big.
with Raven kind of coming up, she explains like, "I see something," and you all kind of prepare. So non-natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
20. That is a massive boost.
you can roll the d6 again, see if you get a 6, I guess.
It might.
Wait. Do you have to use that roll? I don't think you do. Yeah, choose which one.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
Same thing. It was meant to be. Ball don't lie.
wow.
So as you all kind of reconvene at the base of the waterfall, that's going to be annoying later down the road. As you all kind of convene around the base of the waterfall, Raven, you notice that this softly blinking light, as it reaches the base, it kind of stops blinking and stays at its like full illumination. And you watch as it kind of continues to swim towards the base, going past the waterfall itself. And this is when you all start to notice, as Raven points it out, behind the waterfall seems to be an almost cave-like structure.
Wow. I love it.
You watch as the light itself pushes past the base of the waterfall before it eventually disappears beyond the entrance of this cave. And as you all kind of stand there pondering what to do, that is where we will pick up next week. Seeing as how it's 10:15, and if we're going to get into that, we might push past our allotted time. So,
like we're not gonna go in the secret waterfall cave.
You might not. I know you will. That's why I'm stopping it here.
Yeah.
We have to go in.
Because video games should put things behind waterfalls. I'm doing it too.
Absolutely. Everyone.
You can't not check. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many waterfalls I check in like Tears of the Kingdom.
Every single one. You have to.
But like 80% of them don't have anything behind it, and I'm just so upset. That 20% that does.
That's freaking awesome, Jacob.
I knew you guys like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was first thinking of, kind of like cities and stuff, I was like, man, I want a city that has a waterfall. I may not be able